the quarterback position, the guy under center calling all the shots, making all the throws. I'm bringing you my 4 must-start quarterbacks of Week 8 and 2 quarterbacks that you should be sitting going into Week 8. A friendly reminder, teams on a bye week this week, Chiefs and Chargers, so Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. Guys, make sure you keep your head down, keep grinding, trying to make some trades, do what you got to do to get these wins, and let's get straight into the video. My first must-start quarterback of this week is Kirk Cousins versus the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals currently give up the 6th most fantasy points to the quarterback position. Kirk Cousins has been doing his thing. He's been averaging 19.5 fantasy points throughout the first 6 weeks. He did have a bye in week 7, so he's coming back playing the Arizona Cardinals. Do you remember who played the Arizona Cardinals this past week? It was the New Orleans Saints and Andy Dalton. Do you remember how many points Andy Dalton had? 37 fantasy points, over 37 fantasy points. He threw 4 touchdowns and 2 to the other team. Okay, if Kirk Cousins can do anything what Andy Dalton did, even if he threw the interceptions, I don't care. I am excited to see what he can do going into this week. So start Kirk Cousins with confidence. My second must-start quarterback this week is Danny Dimes versus the Seattle Seahawks. Daniel Jones was doing his thing this past week. The Seahawks, by the way, gave up the 10th most fantasy points to the quarterback position this past week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Rushed for over 100 yards, threw for over 200, threw a touchdown, and rushed for a touchdown. Over 30 fantasy points. Obviously, that's unrealistic for Daniel Jones, but he is averaging 19.6 fantasy points per game, which I'll feel confident in if you do have a Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert, and if you need to stream a quarterback this week, Daniel Jones could be a good streaming option. This past week, the Seattle Seahawks did give up, over 200, nearly 300 yards to Justin Herbert. He threw 2 touchdowns. He had 23 fantasy points. So if you need a quarterback this week, I'm starting Daniel Jones with confidence. My third must-start quarterback this week is Tua Tagovailoa, currently playing the Detroit Lions going into Week 8. The Lions currently give up the 4th most fantasy points to the quarterback position this past week. Tua threw a touchdown for over 200 yards, had 17 fantasy points. What I am really excited about is the deep passes, maybe the blown coverages that the Lions, I feel like, tend to give up almost every single game, to either Jalen Waddle or Tyreek Hill. And I think that's what can happen this week against Tua. He's going to play in the Dome, which is great, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, at Detroit. So if you can start Tua, and if you need a guy, I know the injury concerns with the concussions and everything, but we saw him take a couple hits last week. He kind of protected himself. He's getting some ballsy though. He was freaking running down the field with his head first. Maybe that's better than falling the back of your head. I'm not sure, but I'm starting 2 attacks with confidence this week against the Lions. My last must-start quarterback of this week is Tom Brady. It's crazy that he's on this list because I know a lot of people going into this week is going to say, "What about Tom Brady? He hasn't been doing well. This past week only gave me 11 fantasy points." He threw for over 200 yards, right? He threw the ball 49 times. This is a pass-first offense, right? They want to throw the ball. They need to get things going. If Mike Evans catches that touchdown, the conversation around Tom Brady, fantasy-wise, personally, like just fantasy-wise, could be significantly different. But obviously, that's not the case. They lost 3 straight, which is crazy in my opinion. Losing 3 straight. I think you have to believe Tom Brady is going to come back and say, we need to win against this Baltimore Ravens team. We need to do whatever we can to win. And I do believe they're going to throw the ball. The Ravens currently give up the 8th most fantasy points to the quarterback position, right? And I know last week we said start him against the Panthers. The Panthers is this. He has lost to the Panthers for a long time. But the Ravens actually give up a lot of points to the quarterback position, unlike the Panthers. So I think you have to start Tom Brady with confidence. He is still the GOAT. He is still there somewhere inside of that mind, inside of that body somewhere. He needs to find his rhythm. Hopefully Week 8 is this week. He does play Thursday night. Start Tom Brady with confidence. As always, we like to bring you our start of the week and also our sits of the week. And my first sit quarterback this week, and it's crazy that I'm saying this, it's Aaron Rodgers. I am not starting Aaron Rodgers this week going into Week 8 against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills currently give up the 6th least amount of fantasy points to the quarterback position. And I would be starting Aaron Rodgers if maybe even Allen Lazard does play, okay? And you might be in that position where you need to start, Aaron Rodgers. But Allen Lazard could be missing some time with a shoulder injury. I'm not necessarily sure if he's going to play in week 8. Amari Rogers is there, not catching any ball. Romeo Doubs is there, who has been all right. He didn't catch a ball all week last week. He was targeted 4 times, dropped every single one of them. Sammy Watkins, has been up and down. Randall Cobb is injured. Who else is there? Robert Tonyan, Aaron Jones. It's great that they're there, but he needs more weapons. He needs a true alpha, and it's clear that this offense is struggling. Aaron Rodgers is struggling without Devontae Adams, especially against the Buffalo Bills, who have been playing lights out. The 6th least amount of fantasy points to the quarterback position. I want to sit, and they're getting healthy at the right time right now. So I need to sit Aaron Rodgers going into week 8. My second sit quarterback of this week is Kenny Pickett versus the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles currently give the 2nd least amount of fantasy points to the quarterback position. Look, Kenny was all right. Threw 32 times for 44, had over 15 fantasy points, threw a touchdown, but he also threw 3 interceptions in week 7 against the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins do have a decent secondary. You know who has a better secondary? The Philadelphia Eagles. I am not sure if I want to start Kenny Pickett. This could be a game where he's throwing another 3 interceptions, but with no touchdowns, right? This is how good this Eagles team is. They're coming off a bye week as well. They're playing at Philly. I think I want to sit out, any Kenny Pickett, maybe even anyone on this offense, Najee, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. I'm not sure if I want to start any of these guys. So sit Kenny Pickett versus the Eagles going into week 8. Guys, as always, we like to say thank you so much for coming through. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below. We're going to be answering all your fantasy start-sit questions Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live and answer every single one of your questions. Keep grinding. Keep doing what you have to do to get a W. And good luck in week 8.
Yo, what's good? Thanks for watching. We got a lot more videos.
A lot more.
If you want more videos.
Watch it.
You can also subscribe.
Right now.
If you want to.
You need to.
And lastly, don't forget that you can sign up to support the show and get exclusive content by going to patreon.com/FantasyLand fam.